Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Theater Day. All right, so this particular show I'm seeing today is the entire reason I came to New York City. I had to see this show. So, back when I was in high school, we're looking at the year 1996. I believe I was a sophomore, and I did a theater trip to London with my school. My teacher knew I was like the theater nerd of the class, so she asked me a list of shows I had to see, and top of my list was this new Andrew Lloyd Webber musical called Sunset Boulevard. I saw this one with Petula Clark, but also I've been obsessed with this album for years. In fact, the Sunset Boulevard Patti LuPone version was the very first CD I ever purchased, and I think I wore that thing out. Here in New York, they have done a new version of Sunset Boulevard directed by Jamie Lloyd. This one is going to star Nicole Scherzinger. Now, I was going to get a ticket to see it last night, but she was not going to be in the show. It was going to be her understudy, which was Mandy Gonzalez, who I've seen before. She's amazing. She's fabulous, but I really wanted to see this one with Nicole Scherzinger. Now, this production, well, let me start. When I saw the original production in London, the set was insane. Like, they had the Norma Desmond mansion literally fly from the ceiling down, massive staircases, incredible sets. Well, this version is completely stripped down. From my understanding, there is zero set, no costumes, and it's done as a film noir. So, reviews have been insane on this. And on top of that, we're going into one of my favorite theaters. You ready for this? Here we go. We're going into the St. James Theater to see Sunset Boulevard. Yay! So, we're going to get the ticket scanned, and gang, I'll see you in the theater.
Sunset Boulevard is a musical about an aging film actress named Norma Desmond, whose youth was captured in the silent film era. Now, this washed-up star who's living in the past comes across a writer named Joe and convinces him to help her return back to the pictures. Set in 1950s Hollywood, Sunset Boulevard is based off the film of the same name that starred Gloria Swanson. The musical, originally opening in London in 1993, starred Patti LuPone, but this current production takes away the set and lavish costumes in exchange for a mix of live performance and video being filmed on stage. Directed by Jamie Lloyd and music by Andrew Lloyd Webber, this groundbreaking show is changing the way theater is performed, and its star, Nicole Scherzinger, gives a performance of a lifetime, showing the very dark and mentally unstable side of Norma Desmond.
And here is my ticket for today. It costs $93.60.
I love how upfront they were in telling you that if you leave during the show, you will not be getting back in before you even scanned in your ticket. But let's go take a look at the merchandise. I wasn't really that impressed with what they had. Everything just seemed a little too simple and a little too basic, but I did purchase the magnet, and if I had a record player, I would have purchased their collectible vinyl.
All right, there's my view of the stage.
Oh, the St. James.
Yes, St. James Theater. This is where I saw Frozen and I saw Spamalot here. All right, see you after the show. Or at least Act 1. We have hit Intermission. This show is spectacular. It is something I have never, ever seen in my entire life. Absolutely wow. And I will discuss more after the show. See you then.
I am so happy I caught this on film, but they're about to raise the curtain so the techs can clean up all the confetti from the end of Act 1. What you're about to see is the entire set for the Sunset Boulevard musical. Gang, there it is. There's the set. Now, what you are not really seeing lit up on the back wall is a giant LED screen that they used to show whatever they were filming on stage.
here they are after the show, cleaning all the blood off of the stage. Look at that. The guy's working hard and getting all of that off the stage. Good job, buddy. All right, gang, we are out of the theater. Holy cow, I've never seen a show like this in my entire life. I'm going to get back to you on this one because I want to get some food and I want to get my thoughts together. Nothing negative. This show was brilliant, but it was something I've never seen in my entire life. So we'll come back when the crowd level's not so crazy. All right, so I just had some dinner, got my thoughts together about Sunset Boulevard, and actually as I was having dinner, I started talking to someone at the bar I was sitting at who saw Sunset Boulevard and heard I just saw it and immediately turned around and went, wasn't that one of the best shows you've ever seen? And I have to agree with him on that. So get ready. This is how the show works. If you don't know the plot of Sunset Boulevard, it is about a gentleman named Joe who, through a car chase scene, ends up at a mansion of an aging actress named Norma Desmond. Joe is a writer. Norma finds out he is a writer and wants him to work on the script as her big return to Hollywood. Then a love triangle forms, and that's kind of the gist of the show. This show, from the original 90s version of Sunset Boulevard, which had that incredible lavish set, is very stripped down. In fact, there is no set whatsoever. Basically, they have a giant LED wall that is attached to like the ceiling and then comes down from the back forward. So when you see it, it's at an angle. It is very much a little bit of theater, a little bit of movie. So they have live cameras on stage to film and show you on the LED wall what's happening. So it's really cool because from the audience, you're watching the performers and Norma Desmond would say something, and then as she would turn and look at the camera, you would see her thought pattern completely change in that moment. So you got to see two sides of everything. Nicole Scherzinger as Norma Desmond was incredible. She really tapped into the insanity of that actress and played it for all it's worth. Like, from the performances I've seen in the 90s, you knew Norma Desmond was crazy. But oh my gosh, this show made her very crazy. They took a lot of the numbers and slowed it down, slowed some of the dialogue down, and everything was played in shadows in a very fogged black stage. So the lighting was very harsh. It wasn't pretty lighting, and only once in the whole show did they have lighting with any kind of color in it. And when that hit, you knew things were about to go down. It was incredible direction on this. The Jamie Lloyd version of this and how he made this a film noir. There were scenes and songs that were sung literally backstage, but you saw it all happen, and Norma is like standing right there, and you're just watching her go crazy, seeing all this happen on the giant LED wall that they had. And then, of course, the infamous opening of Act 2 with Joe singing the title song, Sunset Boulevard, as he starts in his dressing room, watching the original Gloria Swanson Sunset Boulevard movie, going all the way down the steps, seeing the cast, all the way to Nicole Scherzinger's dressing room, seeing her there where she places a gun on her dressing room table, as a foreshadow of things that are about to come, and then goes into the streets of New York City with a film crew, and you're sitting in the theater literally watching this. So if you didn't know about this, there's a million TikTok videos of people who have filmed this on the streets of New York, and it's incredible to watch. The part that really got me was whenever Norma Desmond goes completely insane and ends up shooting Joe at the end. The way it was done with quick flashes of light, darkness, hearing her insanity in the darkness, and then finally when it was all done, she drank his blood, and she's standing in a pool of his blood. It was absolutely horrible and mind-boggling to see. It was a phenomenal performance. Now, I will say the show is not for everyone. If you are not a theater kind of person like I am, you might find this a little boring. So the people I was sitting next to literally were on their phones the entire time, and it was driving me insane. The gentleman I sat next to, not only was he on his cell phone with the brightness at full level, he was also brought an iPad with him and was on that as well in the middle of the show. I was like, come on people, have some respect. Literally, have some respect for theater goers. If you're looking for glitz and glamour and beautiful sets and incredible lighting, this is not the show for you. But if you're looking for performance-driven story with that Andrew Lloyd Webber sound just oozing out, then this is the show for you. I would see it again in a heartbeat. My ticket was not bad. Now, when I got this ticket at TKTS, I paid $93.60 for this seat. I thought it was very much worth the money. They did have a seat. I called it the baller seat. It was third row dead center. And gang, they wanted $190 for that. And that was at over 50% off. I looked online to see what some of those front seats were going for, and it was like $300-400. And for me, there's not a show really out there worth that kind of money. Even in the mezzanine that I was sitting in, if I went down a little further, it would have been the $190 price discounted. So the people at TKTS really hooked me up and took care of me and making sure I found that seat that not only was in my budget, but that had an amazing view as well. So I highly recommend TKTS whenever you guys come here, middle of Times Square, where the red stairs are. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe this. And gang, I'll see you at the next show. Take care, everyone. Bye.
This was an absolutely incredible evening at the theater. Now with the end credits playing us out, at the time of me editing this video, the revival of Sunset Boulevard has been nominated for the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical, and Nicole Scherzinger has received a nomination for Best Leading Actress in a Musical, which is an extremely tight race. If you're wanting to see this production, I'd go sooner than later, since the show is scheduled to close on July 13th after being extended. My name is Jeff, and my channel is all about theater, travel, and my experiences. Thank you for watching. Please help me out and click that like button, and please subscribe to the channel. Take care, and I'll see you at the next show.